Kadosh Boker Tov. We're going to continue on Daf Kuf Kav Vav Amud Bet. We're starting the new perek of Mifanim. Okay? So this is going to be the 18th chapter. And it starts as follows. Mifanim. We're talking about taking out from the Otsar, which is basically like a storage place, Afilu arba vechamesh kupot, even 4 or 5 kupot. We're talking about 4 or 5 different types of barrels of teven or tvua. We're talking about like a certain measurement of grains, right, or of wheat, because of the orchim, in order to prepare for them for the seudah, in order, right, to prepare them a place, or in order to learn, which means if they needed a place to sit down, there now, even though there's a tircha, which tircha usually is prohibited on Shabbat, you're not allowed to toil or to work. Here it's going to be permitted, but you're not allowed to empty out the otzar. So you're allowed to take out from the otzar 4 or 5 different things in order that people could sit down, they could sit, they could learn, they could do all these things, but you're not allowed to come and to take out the entire things of the otzar. Mifanim truma tehora, right? You're allowed to come and take out truma tehora because that you're allowed to use it on Shabbat and it's not considered muktzeh, even though it's truma, which has to go to the Kohen. Udemai, or something which is asur misafek. Remember, demai means that it's safek whether it was taken off trumot or masorot or not because you bought it from an amaretz. Maaser rishon shenita trumato, or from maaser rishon that was taken the trumat maaser from it, and therefore now it's going to become chulin. Right? Remember, maaser rishon means that you took off 10% for the Levi, and then he has to take off trumat maaser and give it to the Kohen another 10th. Okay. Maaser sheni ve'ekdesh niftu, or maaser sheni and ekdesh that were already redeemed, deconsecrated, and therefore it's chulin. Remember, Maaser Sheni is on years 1, 2, 4, 5. So you're allowed to come and you have to take off this extra 10%, which becomes Maaser Sheni, which usually, if you would take that in itself to Yerushalayim, you would be able to eat it in Yerushalayim itself. But if you would redeem it, you would have to add a 5th, and then you would be able to eat it in Yerushalayim. The turmus ayavesh, or a type of a bean which is dry, because it's food for goats, and therefore it's not muktzeh. However, though, you're not allowed to move lo et tevel, not tevel, velo et maaser rishon shelo nitera tumato, or maaser rishon. Tevel means it was untithed produce, or maaser rishon that was not taken off the tuma. Velo et maaser sheni ve'ekdesh shelo nitu, or maaser sheni ve'ekdesh which was not deconsecrated, which was not redeemed. Velo et aluf, or not a type of a bean. It's a type of a bean here. It doesn't say what it is. It just say fine, keep neat. Velo et chardal, or not mustard, which is complete because they're not fitting on Shabbat for anything. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel permits a luf because it's food for ravens. Chavile kash v'chavile etzim. We're talking about different pieces of straw or wood, which are soft pieces of which are fitting for an animal. V'chavile zradim, or chavile zradim, which are fitting for eating as well as type of reeds. If you designated it to eat for animals, you're allowed to use it. In love, and if not, you're not allowed to use it. Okay, it says the Gemara on Kuf Kav Vav Amud Bet. Hashta chamesh mefanin arba mibae. Basically, the Gemara is going to deduce, why do we say in the Mishnah, mefanin afilu arba vechamesh? If you could do chamesh, why did you have to write down arba? You could do 4 or 5, right? Well, 4 or 5. If you could do 5, for sure you could do 4. So, Amar al-Chasta, arba mechamesh. No, we're talking about 4 out of 5. Which means you're not allowed to take out the entire otzar. You could take out 4 out of 5, right? Okay, then afterwards, there's a little bracket, so we skip out. Okay, and it says, right, v'chamesh me'otzar gadol, right? Or you could take 5 from a big one. So 4 out of 5 if there's only 5, or 5 out of a big one. Maya v'lo. So what does it mean then? Not the entire otzar. Shelo yatchil be'otzar tchila. Do not start from the beginning with the otzar, which means there's no heter to take out an otzar unless you already started from before Shabbat to take it out, right, for his food or for the food of the animal. But the otzar that you didn't take it out before Shabbat, you're not allowed to start emptying it out on Shabbat. Umani, and who is this? It's Rav Yehuda tile muktzeh. This is according to Rav Yehuda that he holds of muktzeh. Okay, that means basically if it's not fitting, it's muktzeh. U'Shmuel amar. Shmuel comes and he wants to answer another answer. Arba v'chamesh, right? Kukav Zayin Amud Aleph, 4 and 5, like people say. So if you wanted, you could even take out a lot. What does it mean not the otzar? that you're not going to finish the entire thing. Why can you empty out the entire outside? You know why? Maybe you're going to level the ground. Meaning when you have, remember that it was always dirt grounds. So it's dirt grounds and you're going to come and you're going to start emptying everything. All of a sudden you're going to see, look, there's a hole over there, there's this. So what are you going to start doing? Leveling it off. And that's a sur, right? Whether it's inside a house, it's going to be a sur mishum boneh. If it's in the fields, you're going to be chayav mishum choresh. So it says, but if you already, but you're allowed to start, which means even if for the beginning, umani, and who is it? Rabbi Shimon. Because Rabbi Shimon holds that there's no such thing as mukseh. Which means that even right now, if it's not fitting, as long as you're still fitting for something, he doesn't hold the mukseh, that's called Rabbi Shimon. So that was a machloke between the two different shitot. We go like Rabbi Yehuda, that there is a problem of mukseh, or like Rabbi Shimon, which is not a problem of mukseh. One shita is of chasta, the other shita is shemuel. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita. Okay, we are 2, 4, 5 lines down, right, for everyone that just joined. So it says 5 lines down, Tanu Rabbanan, Kuf Kav Zayin Amud Aleph, 127a1. Tanu Rabbanan, you're not allowed to start in the Otzar, but you're allowed to make a route, right? That means like it's like a road, which means you could empty on this, you could move them around, so that way I have like a path to get to it. This in order that I could get in and out. So says the Gemara, Osebo Shvil, you're allowed to make like a path. I thought you said you're not allowed to start. So says the Gemara, Hachi Kamar, this is what it means to say. Osebo Shvil beraglav beknisato v'yitzito. You're allowed to make it with your legs in the entrance and coming in and coming out, which means you can move it with your legs, all the wheat or whatever it is, to the sides, in order that I can make myself a path to get in and to get out. Okay? Because basically moving it with my legs, which is Sintul Begufo, is going to be permitted. With your body, it's going to be permitted. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita. Tivua Tzevura. When we're talking about Tivua, grain, which is all gathered together. Okay, so it's going to be for the Otzar. If you started using it from Erev Shabbat, so then you're allowed to continue on Shabbat. If not, you're not allowed to use it on Shabbat. These words are Shimon. Biacha matir. Biacha permits, right, to use it even if you didn't start using it from Shabbat, Erev Shabbat. So says the Gemara, klapelaya. What are we talking about? Right? What does it mean? It's mashma, the exact opposite. Because since Rabbi Shimon is the one that's always mekel, and he holds that there's no muktzeh, how could it be here that Rabbi Shimon is the one that says that it's a sur, and Rabbi Acha is the one that says it's mutar? So says the Gemara, you're right, you have to switch it around. Elaima divrei Rabbi Acha says it's a sur, and Rabbi Shimon says it's going to be mutar. Tana, we learned in a Braita, kama shiur tevuah tzevura. What is the shiur of tevuah tzevura, which means grain which is bundled together? So it says it's a letech. The letech is half of a kur, which is 15 sa'im. Okay? So basically it's a certain measurement, and that's what's considered for the otzar. Okay? Says the Gemara, Ba mine Rav Nachum bar Zecharia me'Abaye. Ask Rav Nachum bar Zecharia from Abaye, shiur tevuah tzevura. What is the shiur tevuah tzevura? Bekama, how much is it? Amalei Amrei Amru, they said shiur tevuah tzevura letech. It's going to be a letech. So Ibai Lehu, so they're going to ask the following question: Hani arba v'chamesh kupot, this 4 or 5 kupot, barba v'chamesh kupot in tfeilo, or is it only talking about when you're going to take out 4 or 5 kupot? It's going to be mutar, but more no. Alma, so you see from here, to be luchadif, that it's much better to minimize how much you have to walk. Okay, that means even though in every single halicha, right, every single time that you're walking, right, it's going to become more heavy. Still, or dinar maybe limut masuyadif, which means like this. I could travel 5 times, but it's going to be very, very heavy. Or I could travel 10 times, but it's going to be lighter. What's better? To minimize the walking or to minimize the burden? That's what the Gemara is asking. Okay? Everyone understood the question. What's better? To minimize the walking, the trips, or to minimize the burden, how heavy it's going to be? That's the question. So Tashma, we're going to try to bring a proof. The Tani Chada that we learned once, you're allowed to empty out 4 or 5 kupot of shemen and yain. The other writer says, about 10 and 15. Are we not talking about that? That's a machloket. The more savar, the one of them holds luchadif, it's better to go smaller trips, right? Umor savar, even though it's heavier, umor savar suyadif. So says the Gemara, because again, there it said, 10 and 15. So what's better? Right? Is it going 4 or 5, but it's very heavy, or 10 and 15, but you're taking lighter loads? So says Gemara, no. According to everybody, it's better that you take smaller trips, even though it's going to be heavier. Misavra, do you really think it's 10 and 15? We're talking about 10 and 15. We're talking about kupot. Kadin kai. We're talking about kadin, small jugs. La kasha, it's not a question. One of them you're taking one by one in a kupa, which means big jars. And when we're talking about 2 or 2, which means you're talking about like medium-sized jars. So you're taking 2 by 2s. Okay, veha, and the last one is basically you're taking 3 by 3, which are small jars. We're talking about kadim jugs of harpenia, which is a certain place, which are very small jugs. Okay, so therefore, in the amount of the kupot and alichot you're allowed to go, so it all depends on the different sizes of the jugs. That's what we're talking about. Okay? So we're going to ask now the following question. Hani arba v'chamesh tekamar. This 4 or 5 that we spoke about. Okay, even though you've got tons of guests, or it all depends on the guests. If I have 5 guests, I'm going to take a certain amount. But if I got 20 guests, so I could take much more. Now, if you're going to tell me now everything goes according to the guests, are we talking one person that he can empty out the entire thing? Or where each person has to empty out their own. Meaning, can I come and do it for all my guests? Or every single guest has to come and take his portion. So Tashma, we're going to try to bring a proof. The Amar Rabbi Rechia says Rabbi Rechia. Once Rabbi went to a certain place to make a drasha in the public. But he saw that there was no space for the Tamidim. So he went into the field and he found that the entire field was full of grain, of wheat and everything. So what did he do? Rebbe came and he did me'amer. He gathered everything together, right? In order that they could actually sit down in the field. So he wanted to go outside, so there's much more room. So he comes and he opens it up and everything. So you see from here that Rebbe did it for everybody else. So one person is allowed to do it for everybody, right? Rav Yosef, Rav Yoshia, says Rav Yosef and Rav Yoshia. Also, Rabbi Chia went on Shabbat and he was going to give a drasha. And he saw that it was very not spacious whatsoever. It was very dachuk, pressure for the Talmidim. Yet someone says, again, Rabbi did it. So you see from here, everything is according to the Rechim. Plus, one person did it for everybody, even though I don't know why the Gemara is going to ask that question now. The Gemara is going to say, we still have the question. Is one person doing it for everybody? Or Rebbe did it for everybody else. Right, so it comes out that Rebbe did it for everyone, and also Rabbi Chia. I don't know why I didn't bring down Rabbi Chia. Okay? Ultamech, but according to your reasoning, with the Nafshei Imer, you really think that Rebbe himself did it? It's not a kavod for the Nasi, that the rabbi should do it himself. But rather, Tzivav Imer, he commanded somebody else to do it. Uleolam kol chav echad. Really, bemet, every single person did it on their own. Right? So therefore, that's how we're going to answer up the second bright. Okay? Fine. Next, mipnei orchin. So we're talking about because of the guests and because of bitul bet midrash. Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, it's so important to have guests, just like coming and learning Torah. Diktani, because we learned mipnei orchin, because we put them together. We said either because of the guests or because of bitul bet midrash. It's much more important to have guests, even more than coming in and having in the bet midrash. Diktani, because we learned mipnei orchin because of the guests. The Hadar, and then afterwards, because we said, because of Bitul Bet HaMidrash. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar, says in the name of Rav, Gedolach Achnasat Orchim Kabbalat Pnei Shechina. Achnasat Orchim is even greater than Kabbalat Pnei Shechina. Tichtib, as we learned, we said, it says in the Pasuk, Vayomar, Hashem ne'ontzadechem Yenecha L'Tavo Melavdecha. So Avraham Avinu tells the Kadosh Baruch Hu, wait, I'm going to go get the guests. 1 second, you have the Shechina speaking to you, you're going to go speak to the guests? Right? Bo Amar Rabbi Lazar, says Rabbi Lazar, Bo Kadosh Baruch Hu B'David Sardam. Look, that Kadosh Baruch Hu is not like a human being. Midat v'savadam, a human being, and Katan yachol lomar legadol. A Katan cannot tell to the Gadol, "Amten li ad she'yavo etzlecha." Wait until I come back. But by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's written, "Vayomar Hashem amnam tzadichena." Avraham Avinu did tell the Gadol. That means, imagine right now you're going to tell somebody greater than you this. It doesn't exist. But here it did happen because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not like a human being. Amar Rav Yehuda bar Shila, Amar Rav Asi, Amar Rav Yochanan. Says Rav Yehuda bar Shila, Amar Rav Asi, Amar Rav Yochanan. Shisha dvarim adam ochel perotam ha'olam hazeh. There are 6 things which a person eats, and the keren is kayem el olam haba. So, by the way, you should know that this is also Mishnah Peah, and also by us. And if you look in the mornings when we say it, it's actually going to be like a combination of both, because it's a few differences, right? A few nuances between the two. And therefore, when we're going to read it now, you're going to realize that it's a little bit different. We actually add on a little bit more, and part of it is from Peah as well. So it says, so there are 6 things that a person eats the fruits in this world, and the ken and the principle is going to be still in the next world. These are them: achnasat orchim, bikur cholim, having guests, visiting the sick, iyun tefillah, kavanah tefillah, hashkama bet midrash, waking up early to the midrash, v'amgadel b'adam l'tamud Torah, and having his children are going to be godel b'anav l'tamud Torah, v'adan et chavero lechav zechut, and being judging your friend favorably. Okay, so now obviously, right, this is now we're going to bring peah. Any is it so? We learned elu advarim shadam tzavach and there's a different list now. Now here it doesn't say 6. It's just these other things. Kibud avaim. So this is different from our Gemara. Gimilut chasadim. So technically, maybe you want to say that achnasat orchim bikur cholim is gimilut chasadim. Havat shalom ben adam lechavero, right? Ubenishu ishto, right? Bringing peace between a person and his friend. Talmud Torah keneged kulam. So hani, so it's mashma from peah that these are the only ones and nothing else. And this is a mishnah. And this is bayas. It's a brighta. It's a Rav Yehuda bar Shila Rav Yochanan. So answers the Gemara, Haninami, these two bani shaychi, it's all the same, which means these ones that Rabbi Yochanan said are a part of that Mishnah. He's not adding, it's just enumerating different parts. Okay? So we're continuing Be'ezrat Hashem on Kuk of Zayin Amud Bet. Now we're having a very famous story, which again the Shelter Rabbi Chai Gaon belongs to Rabbi Akiva. Tana Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita. Okay, this is the second line on Kuk of Zayin Amud Bet, 127b. If somebody's going to judge your friend favorably, so then measure for measure, they're going to judge you favorably. There was a story with a person that went down from Galil Elyon, he was rented out to a balabait in the south for 3 years. So imagine 3 years he's working. By the way, this happened before he was Chazar B'Tshuva and he became Rabbi Akiva. Okay? Be'erev Yom Kippurim, on Erev Yom HaKippurim. Okay? What happened? On Erev Yom Kippurim, he comes to say goodbye. And he tells him, pay me. Imagine, I'm going to get paid my salary after 3 years. I come in and tell the balabait, listen, pay me. Right? When I am going to come and give the money to my wife and children. He told them, I don't have any money. Amarlo, fine, tell me, give me fruits. Amarlo, Enli, I don't have. Tell me karka, give me land. Enli, I don't have. Tell me be'ema, give me animals. Enli, I don't have. Tell me kanim salto, give me your pillows, blankets. Enli. Hivshil kilav la'achorav, he took everything, v'alach lebeto b'pachel nefesh, and he just went sad. La'achar regel, after Sukkot, so this is Erev Kippur. He comes to his house empty-handed. After Sukkot, natal balabait secharo biyado. He comes, he takes his reward, the money. He comes and he takes 3 donkeys, 1 of food and drink, 1 of types of, delicious things. 1 of the drink and 1 of the delicious things. So 1. 3 donkeys. He comes to his house. They eat and drink. Natalo, he gives him the money. Amalo, he told him, when you told me, give me your money. And I told you I didn't have money. What did you suspect? Amarti, he said, listen, you know what? I thought, I thought that you found a very cheap thing, and you just went and you just invested in it. So when I told you about the animals, and I told you I didn't have any animals, what did you suspect? You saw that I had animals. Amarti, he went and he said, you know what? I thought that maybe it was muskera biyad achrim. Maybe you rented it out to other people. Yeah? So B'shas Amartali, tell me kaka, when he said, give me the land, Amarti and I said, I don't have any land. What did you suspect me? Amarti, I thought I thought it was going to be mukhar. That means it was like I had a lien on other people. When I said, I don't have fruits, what did you suspect? Right? What did you suspect? I thought maybe you didn't give off Trumot or Masrot. When I told you also that I didn't have Karim Sato, what do you suspect? So he says, I thought that maybe you consecrated everything to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amalo, he told him, Avodah, you should know that he swears. Yeah, that was the story. He consecrated everything for Hurkenes, his son, that he wasn't learning Torah. When I went to my friends in the south, they went and they permitted me all my nidarim. And you, just like Dantani lechav zechut, Hamakol yadinu tcha lechav zechut. They should also dinu lechav zechut. Okay? Fine. So that was a famous story. Yeah, Shelto de Ravachai Gaon. Fine. So it says over here like this. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita. Maaseh bechasid echad shepadar riva achat bat Yisrael velamalon. Right? So what happened is that there was a story with a Chasid echad. Right? There's a whole question, who's this Chasid? Right? Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, Rabbi Yehuda bar Ilai. There's a whole thing here. So there was a Chasid that he went and he redeemed a girl. Okay? A Jewish girl from captivity. Velamalon, now when they were in the hotel, yeah? So what happened was, he put her under his feet. So imagine, he has her right beside him, but now they were all in the same room. You had the rabbi, this chassid, his students, and the girl. So the next day, he comes to do tevilah, and then he starts teaching his students. Right? And he told them, what did you tell me when I put her right beside my legs? What did you guys think? They said, they told him, for sure there's maybe a student that he's not well checked by the rabbi, and therefore the rabbi suspected the students. So he said, so what did you suspect me when I went to do tevilah? When I went to the mikveh? What did you suspect me? Amarnu, they said, maybe because of the derech, because of travel, there was the rabbi had a seminal discharge, not because he went with the girl, rather because of the traveling. Now remember, by the way, travel does cause this, because it's actually brought down that if you remember Elisha Navi, how did the Shunamit know that he was a tzaddik? Because he never had any seminal discharge when he was there, and he was traveling, which means that travel does bring this. So Amar Lehem, he told him, Ha'avodah, kachaya, that's exactly what happened. And you guys, just like you judge me favorably, Tanu Rabbanan, right? This is so too, just like you judge favorably, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should judge you favorably. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in another Braita. The rabbis needed something from a Goya. That everyone was found by her because of zinut, because of immorality. Amru, they said, who's going to go to this zonah, right, to speak to her? They needed something from her, but who's going to go to her? So Amalam, they said of Yoshua, I'm going to go. Why? Why Inyana Yoma?
Pinchas.
Because of, well, that's actually the Haftarah. You're right. The Haftarah with Rachava Zonah. It's true. The Haftarah, Chazak Baruch. Yeah? Because the first time around with, obviously with Kalev and, or also to do with Pinchas, you were referring to Inyana Yoma to do with the story of the end of last week's parasha in the beginning.
Right.
Okay, I was referring to even the Haftarah.
Wow.
Because in the Haftarah, right, it's also mefurash that Yoshua also sent out spies.
Yes.
Who did he send out? Kalev, and Pinchas. So when he sent out Pinchas hided himself because he's Eliyahu Navi, so he was able to become invisible. There's a whole story there in the thing, but they were sent to Rechava Zonah. And then afterwards, Rechava Zonah converted and she got married to Yoshua bin Nun. So it's like a whole thing, but you're right. You were referring to the beginning of the parasha, I was referring to the Very nice. So it says, so what happened? Says of Yoshua, I'm going to go. So it comes of Yoshua and his students and they go. Once he got to her house, he took off his tefillin 4 amot away and he went in. And he locked the door in front of them. Right? After he comes out, he did tevilah. And he started teaching his students. And he told them, what did you think when I took off my tefillin? Think about it. He's taking off his tefillin, going in, locking the door, that comes out, goes to the mikveh. Aywa, what's going on? So Amarnu, they said, he said, no, we thought that the Rebbe said for sure that you can't go in with tefillin, such a house. For sure you have to take it off. So he says, when I locked the door, what did you think? He says, for sure that you need something to do with the kingdom. And therefore you couldn't speak, openly, so you had to close the door. So when I went and I did tevilah, what did you suspect me? We thought that when she was speaking, right, the virus came out. Yeah, the saliva comes out and it got on into his clothing. So he wanted to do tevilah. He didn't want to be impure. Amar lahem, he told them, ha'avodah kachaya. He swore that that's exactly what happened. Okay, very good. So we're by that was the next story. Okay, we're by the two dots. Says the Gemara, mifanin terumat teorah. So we finished with the stories, now we go back to business. Mifanin terumat teorah. We're going to take out terumat teorah. Obviously, if it's terumat teorah, you could use it on Shabbat. So says the Gemara, no, lo tzricha demancha biyad Yisrael. It's in a Jew's hand. It's even a regular Yisrael. So even though Yisrael cannot eat truma, it's still permitted. I would have thought, say, Kevin de Lochazele, since it's not fitting to eat for him, it's going to be asur. Since it's fitting for the Kohen, Shapi Dami, you're allowed to move it. Next two dots, Demai. Demai, Halo Chazi, says 1 second, Demai is, we have a safek, it was taken off Truma to Masrot. So it's not fitting. So says the Gemara, given the Bai Mafkel El Nisev Aviani, he could have been mafkid all his nechasim, and then he would have become an ani. Chazile, and then it's going to be chazile. Hashanami chazile. So too, it's also going to be fitting. The Tanam was learned to the Mishnah. Ma'achilin taniyim demai v'tachsanya demai. You're allowed to give to the poor people demai, and also the achsanya demai. So any ani is permitted to eat demai, but since it's a safek, they were more lenient for the aniyim, or for a guest. Right here it says it's a chayil shel melech. We're talking about the people from the king. Right? Amar Rav Una says, according to Bet Shammai, you're not allowed to. According to Bet Hillel, you're allowed to give them aniyim demai and the achsanya demai. Next two dots, Maaser Rishon Shnita Trumato. Right? It says the Gemara, Pshita, obviously it's pure. You're allowed to eat it. Everything's okay. So it says the Gemara, Lo tzricha shigdimo b'shibolim. You went and you did it. You took off the Maaser Rishon, right? You took off the Trumat Maaser when it's in the shibolim. So you didn't take off the Truma Gdola. First of all, you always take off Truma Gdola. Truma Gdola goes to the Kohen. It's 1/50th, right? Or it's a little piece, but then it became 1/50th, right? So that's Truma Gdola. And then you take off the other things. Here you did the opposite order. You took off the Maaser before the Truma Gdola. Just like Rav says the name of Shakish. When you took off Maaser Rishon before the Shibolim, you become patur from Truma Gdola. But it says in the pasuk, Maaser mina maaser amarti lecha, v'lo Truma Gdola u'truma maaser mina maaser. You have to take off Maaser from the Maaser, which is basically, again, Maaser Rishon goes to the Levite, 10%. He has to take off Maaser from the Maaser, a tenth from the tenth, which is 1 out of 100, to the Kohen. And that's called Trumat Maaser. So therefore, you have to take off Trumat Maaser, but not Truma Gdola and Trumat Maaser from the Maaser. So that means that you become exempt if you switch the order. So Amalei of Papa Labaye says of Papa Labaye, if so, you should also become patur if you took it off from the Kri. Remember, from the Kri, it's also going to be patur, right? So he says, Amalei, he says, from you, it says, you have to take off from all the presents. Kol. The word kol, it says that you're going to be chayav from any type of maaser, whether it's from the Truma Gdola or all those things. Umaraita. So what did you see to add it in? Hai idgan v'hai lo idgan. Says the Gemara, this maaser, shigdimoli truma, after you take off from the kri, from the pile, he says it already became the gan before the afrasha. Here we're talking about that it wasn't the gan beforehand. Okay, maaser sheni, and ekdesh that was redeemed. Pshita, obviously, it's fitting. You only gave the principle, not the chomesh. Remember, when you redeem the maaser sheni to eat in Eretz Yisrael, to eat in Yerushalayim, if you didn't redeem it and you went to Yerushalayim, you take the full amount and you eat it there in Yerushalayim, perfect. If you redeem it now for money and then you're going to go there and you're going to buy things, you have to add a fifth. So here you didn't put in the fifth. So then chomesh me'akev. The b'diavad, it's still going to be okay even though you didn't take off the chomesh. Turmusa yavesh, we're talking about the turmusa yavesh. Dafka yavesh, only if it's dry. We're talking about this type of beans that are dry. Avalach, but if it's moist, no. But since it's going to be so bitter, you're never going to eat it that way. Okay? And then with that, we finished the two dots. And Baruch Hashem, we finished the daf.